Hey everyone, I'm Mike DeLong, and I finally caught up with all the Best Picture nominees. Every year, movie theaters hold marathons the last two Saturdays before the Oscars. I've sat in the theater for 26 hours and caught Emilia Perez at home, so you don't have to. Without further ado, let's check out my reviews. First up, Emilia Perez. I gave it 1.5 stars. This movie is not good, but I believe there is a good movie in there somewhere. Making this into a musical was a huge mistake. The songs are awful and don't add anything to the story except runtime. I've seen better choreography in high school productions. The whole musical aspect was a huge misstep. The performances were fine, and Zoe Saldana was the best of that group. The bones of the story is the only bright spot. You can make a good movie from this if you take out the music and move it to a different location. I don't know why a French man chose to make a movie about a Mexican drug dealer. I think that if you take this story and move it to a European setting, it would work better, and also take away any racial controversy. This story would be more poignant if you made the main character a Russian oligarch, living in a place where homosexuality and gender dysmorphia is illegal. Definitely not worth the 13 nominations. Next I have Wicked. I gave it 3 stars. The best thing I can say about this movie is, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. The songs I'd already heard were fine, but the other songs, less so. But at least I wasn't sitting there asking the screen out loud why this song was here at all, like in Emilia Perez. I thought that the Oscar wins in production design and costume design were both done better in Nosferatu, where I was transported in a very tangible way that I wasn't in Wicked. I know it's a fantasy, but so was Lord of the Rings, which had a tangibility that Wicked does not. The main performances were good, but the rest of the cast, not so much. This movie was also way too long. Almost every scene just kept going. I've heard the stage musical last as long as this first movie, and there's another whole movie to add. The thing that I liked about the movie was the anti-fascist subtext of the story. I'm actually surprised this movie didn't get attacked more by the right. It did make me want to read the book, but just like I felt about this movie, I'm not too excited about the next one. Taking a big jump up next, I'm Still Here with 3.75 stars. This movie is very important for Brazil, grappling with the horrors committed by its government in the past. It's also important for the rest of us, dealing with dictators in the present. I liked this movie, but I wasn't moved by the main performance, which will probably lose me my entire Brazilian audience. I thought it was very stoic, and while that can be seen as the character's strength, I felt it limited my ability to connect with her. The ending denouement is a bit of a letdown on the movie. It does bring the whole family together and show how they survived their ordeal, but it could have ended with the climax and brought the whole family together for that instead. I'm glad this won Best International Feature over Emilia Perez, but I've heard so many better reviews of Seed of the Sacred Fig, which was nominated, and All We Imagine Is Light, which was not. I haven't seen these other movies yet, so I'm not really sure if I'm Still Here is the Best International Feature, or if it just won because it received 2 other nominations and Emilia Perez was crashing and burning. Next I have The Brutalist. I also gave it 3.75 stars. This is a beautifully crafted, epic movie. I'm just not enamored with it as so many others are. The best cinematography win was well earned. I didn't feel the runtime for most of this movie like I did in Wicked. The acting is great, especially Guy Pearce. Felicity Jones is good as well, dealing with her character's physical disabilities. I wasn't a fan of Adrien Brody, though. He has a consistent accent, which isn't easy, and just acts drunk or high the rest of the movie. He does carry it, but I felt there were 2 nominated performances that were much better. The story really boils down to architect builds a single location. There are struggles, both personal and external. The scene in Italy was shocking in that it seemed to come out of nowhere. There was nothing in Guy Pearce's character that would have led me to believe the character wanted or needed to do what he did. The epilogue of the movie tied things together, but included information that would have been interesting during the actual story. Like the fact that the building the movie focused on had the dimensions of the concentration camp he was in during World War II. Good movie, just not my cup of tea. Nickel Boys is next with 4 stars. The most interesting thing about this movie is the way it is filmed. You are in the point of view of the main characters, which is really interesting, and the other characters are looking directly at you, but that didn't really suck me into the story any more than I normally would. I did notice that the first time they changed perspectives, they replayed the scene to show you the change, but the camera wasn't showing you what the character saw. This isn't really a problem, except it took me out of the story a little bit. Another thing that was somewhat distracting was the juxtaposition of the story and the NASA mission to circle the dark side of the moon. The actual dark side, not the album. I was trying to figure out what the director was trying to say with this comparison, but I never could. Maybe somebody smarter than me could let me know in the notes. It's an all-around solid story, which made me interested in reading the original book. I liked A Real Pain better than this movie though, and thought it would make a better Best Picture nominee. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel for future reviews and to find out what's coming to a streaming service near you. I have Conclave next with 4 stars. I reviewed this movie in January, so if you want to know what I thought about the picture itself, go back to that video. Here, I'm going to talk about where it fits in for the Oscars for me. I thought Ralph Fiennes deserved the nominations he received, and he was in second place for me, of the nominees that I've seen so far. I also feel that Stanley Tucci and John Lithgow were better than Yuri Borisov in the Best Supporting Actor category. The score and sound design were great as well. As for Isabella Rossellini, I don't think she does anything so impressive that she deserved all the nominations. There are better supporting actress performances that I thought were more challenging and better executed. Next up is Anora with 4.25 stars. I don't really feel I have a lot to say about Anora. I didn't really like the Florida project, but I was interested in this movie and possibly went into it with elevated expectations. I think it was a good movie with great lead performance and solid supporting roles. Story is a fun ride. I liked the script and laughed a lot. I think that Anora is an authentic character throughout the movie, and it keeps you wondering if she really knows what she wants. I was left wondering if she really loved Ivan or if she would be happy holding him while he played video games all day. My conclusion was no, but I'm not sure she realized these things either. This is what makes the performance so good, though my preference for Best Actress was Demi Moore. The Complete Unknown is next with 4.5 stars. Timothée Chalamet becomes Bob Dylan. This movie was supposed to be filmed in 2020, but between COVID and his Dune commitments, it was delayed, which only gave Chalamet more time to perfect his performance. It goes beyond imitation and was my favorite male performance of the year. It also feels like this movie was made for me. I love the time period, and I enjoy a lot of Dylan music, so it definitely gives it a boost in my point of view. This is the movie that I am most looking forward to revisiting. Also with 4.5 stars, we have The Substance. The Substance is a wild ride. I was totally on board for the first 2 hours. Then I was shocked when it goes off the rails in the last 20 minutes, but I still enjoyed it. I watched parts of this movie through my fingers. I love the story and the acting. Demi Moore was my favorite performance of those who were nominated, and I thought Margaret Qualley deserved to be nominated too. Even Dennis Quaid was fantastically despicable. The makeup was amazing. I really loved this movie, but outside of my college roommate Jeremy, I don't know who I could recommend this to. My favorite Best Picture nominee is Dune Part 2, and I gave it 5 stars. I love Dune Part 2. I love everything about this movie. Denis Villeneuve deserves more credit for crafting it. The special effects are so realistic. It just transports me to Arrakis. I think the supporting performances by Rebecca Ferguson and Javier Bardem were worthy of award nominations over some that received them. It's a shame that it came out so early in the year. I do have one minor problem with the movie that keeps it from being my favorite movie of the year. In the final battle, Zendaya's character ties a scarf around her arm, so we know where she is in the sea of bodies. She's worn this scarf in other parts of the movie, but not on her arm and not in any other battle scene. It's only there for the audience to identify her, and it bothers me. It's a minor infraction, but it did take me out of the movie. That'll do it for this review video. My February reviews are also posted, so look out for that one. If reviews aren't your thing, stay tuned for what's coming to streaming in April in a couple weeks. Thanks, I'll see you next time.